Welcome back, everyone, to AHSAA TV Weekly. We are proud to welcome to the program now Kim Vickers, Associate Executive Director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Welcome, Kim.
Hi, thank you for having me on today. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, congratulations to you and the whole staff at the association for a wonderful fall sports championship season. And now you're already into the winter sports championship seasons. You guys never take a break, do you?
Well, we actually don't. A lot of people think, well, we take breaks when in between the seasons, when one ends, we go into another, or during the summer. We never take a break. I mean, but when one event's ending, we're already planning the one for upcoming or even next year's events.
Well, Kim, I told you off camera before we started that I was very excited about this interview because I really want to know the answers to some of these questions. We're going to talk about a little bit of behind the scenes process of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, how some of your processes were put into place many years ago, and then how they still work out today. So let's dive right into it. First of all, Kim, can you give us a quick glimpse into how the democratic process works? It was installed by AHSAA's original members in 1921. And it's still important today. So give us a little background on the process.
Sure, I'd be glad to. The legislative process, when the organization was formed in 1921, by the state law, it was required that all public schools would be members of the athletic association. As a result, those member schools were divided into 8 districts. And through that, we have a legislative board, legislative council, and a central board of control to govern, and an executive director, of course, and staff that governs all eligibility, championship play, etc., for those member schools. And currently, we have 414 high schools within that legislative process.
Well, and Kim, what role do those member schools play in the rules and regulations and some of the decisions that are made by the Alabama High School Athletic Association?
Yeah. Well, what the general public is not aware of is that this office here in Montgomery is just charged to govern the rules that the membership makes. The member schools are the ones who have the ability to write a rule, create a new rule, change a rule, or even to eliminate an old rule that they see might be out of date or had become obsolete. The member schools are able to propose a bylaw or rule change. Then they're surveyed, and then the legislative council comes in, and then the central board, and they cast votes based on the results of their individual districts. So, and if something passes, it takes a 2/3 vote of our membership to pass. We have 32 members on the legislative council, so that means a maximum of 32 votes are cast for each proposal, and it takes a 2/3 percentage for it to pass, which is approximately like 22, 23 yeses.
And you've mentioned the legislative council. Tell us how the members of the council are selected.
Well, each district selects those 4 members to represent them. There are currently 8 individuals from each of the 8 districts that represent in their principals, superintendents, coaches, athletic directors, etc. Within those 8 districts, we have 4 by-district members who are represented from either the even number districts or the odd. We're currently in the even number districts. So districts 2, 4, 6, and 8 have an extra member on the legislative council, on the central board. And then we also have 2 at-large females. Currently, the female representatives are from District 1 and 7. And we have 1 representative on the board from the Alabama State Department of Education that's recommended by our state superintendent. But the schools in each district are the ones who put those individuals in place. The AHSAA does not. The member schools within the district select their 4 representatives, and then out of those 4, select which ones will serve on the Central Board of Control.
Okay, and tell me, what is the difference between the legislative council and the central board?
The Central Board is the group of individuals that are charged within our Constitution to basically, they oversee the actions of the AHSAA, the executive staff. And then they charge the executive director to run the day-to-day duties of the association when they are not in session. The Central Board meets annually 4 times, and then at any other time as called upon by our membership. If the membership requests a central board meeting, then they are allowed to hold one. But they are, basically they run the show, and our executive director and our staff answers to the central board. The executive director can make no changes to the bylaws, edits to the bylaws without the central board's input. They're the ones who pass it, not the executive director.
So if, any one of these councils or boards pass a new rule or a bylaws change, when and how do those changes go into effect?
Well, it's funny that you asked that because we're currently in that process right now. The member schools have had a month, or will have a total of a month, to submit proposals for rule changes. And they have the opportunity to submit a proposal to change a rule, add a rule, etc. From this year, it was from January the 17th to February the 17th. The week after that, our AHSA staff, the directors, executive staff, will review the proposals with the executive director. And then once they are approved, we'll put them on a ballot or a survey ballot for the membership to vote on. The members then will have an opportunity from January the 27th through March the 31st to cast votes. And then the results of their votes from the membership are presented to the Legislative Council at their annual meeting in April. And that's when the Legislative Council reviews the survey results of the membership and casts their votes. Something very similar. I hate to compare it to our electoral process for our president's position, but it's very similar. The popular vote is taken first, and the Legislative Council, or like the Electoral College, that casts the votes based on the results of their districts.
Well, Kim, we just want to thank you for taking the time today to shed some light on the processes that go on behind the scenes. We know it's not easy, and actually it seems very complicated, and you guys take the time to really do it and do it well, and allow the association to be governed by the member schools. So while you guys are going through the Winter Sports Championships, you're also going through this process. So we wish you and the rest of the staff all the best as you balance all these important duties. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to always to get out to the public of what we actually do here in Montgomery.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kim.
Thank you. Have a good day.